I am Steve.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I recorded, but in the midst of figures that I kind of want to review or look over, whether it's new or old, I was able to find Bandai's SH FIGUARTS, I think. Yeah, SH FIGUARTS Captain America from Avengers Endgame, which is a fantastic look from the movie and the MCU overall. I think this is the best armor and the best that Captain America has looked in the MCU. That's just me personally. But yeah, with that being said, this I found because my brother does have other figures like in box that he has opened. As you can see, flap is open, but he just kind of put them back in the box because there isn't space for them, and I get to go through his catalog and just sort of pick and choose what I kind of want to take a look at. And Captain America is one of those. Just so you guys know, I am Team Cap. Team Cap all the way. But yeah, great image here on the side of the figure itself, sort of holding up. I'm not going to be able to say Thor's hammer's name, but Thor's hammer, I'm just going to call it Thor's hammer. Nice little, title here, Avengers Endgame, Captain America. Final Battle Edition, looking very cool with this sort of render of Captain here. I think it's more render. I don't know. You call it what you want. We have the name up here with the FIGUARTS as well. You have a nice window showing you some of the accessories and the figure itself. Another image of Captain there on the side, and then the back you have different poses of him, and yeah, it looks very cool. Now, I don't know why everything is in Japanese. Pretty sure this is a legit copy. If not, then you got duped. But I mean, you do have the Tamashii Nations sticker there, so and then you also have the logos, which I don't think knockups care much. They copy everything, but from what I know, this is a legit figure from SH FIGUARTS. Maybe it's a Japanese exclusive, I don't know, but you have this nice bright gold in the back there. And here we have everything. There is a tray over it, so not everything will fall down, but you have the shield, broken shield, lightning effect. You have Thor's hammer with two different end pieces, so we'll take a look at that. Nothing goes in there. You have different hands for Captain here, different settings for the shields, I guess, and then two different heads. But with that being said, let's remove there we go. And that's pretty tight on there. I'm gonna move this aside and put it somewhere where it's not disturbing me much, but lots of things to look at here, and I don't know where to start. I think we'll start with the hands, if I can get them out. So there's one hand, two hands. I'll just take all of these small bits and pieces out. Alright, so we got Captain out here, but before we take a look at him, let's take a look at all of the tiny bits and pieces that come with this guy, which is all of this. That's a lot. But we do get multiple hands here, which are all painted and sculpted very nicely. From what I can see, I'm going to bring in another light here for better looking at, and then we'll zoom in a little bit into these hands to take a look at that amazing texturing that you got going on there. Very cool. And you get these wide open hands. You get, I believe this is your hammer holding hand, looking pretty neat. Again, painted very well and sculpted pretty well. You have 2 of these other hands, which I think are shield throwing hands, and you have little pegs there, I think, for the shield. So that makes for a very cool effect. But yeah, again, sculpted, painted very nicely. You do get 2 fists, so you can do his punchies against Thanos, which we don't have, but those of you who do have them, there you go. We have this other fist holding the strap for the shield, which is very cool. And I think out of the box, I don't know which one he comes with, other than what he already has in the packaging. I think my brother did display them, but he already has a hammer gripping hand, and then he has another hand with the strap on there. So if you want him holding it on his left or right, you can do that switch. So that's pretty neat. Just love that Usage FIGUARTS gives you tons and tons of options when it comes to displaying your figures, so that comes in handy. You have the hammer here, which I mentioned, and it is sculpted beautifully, and I love that silver. It's very shiny and reflective. But look at all that intricate detail in there on the sides and on the handle. You have a little strap there, and then I believe all you have to do is separate. You have your nails still intact, you can separate there, and you can separate. Oh, you do have an indent at the bottom there, so you don't have to struggle on the sides like I did with the first one. But you remove that, and you have 2 ends that are open, and all you have to do is find the shape and match the shape. So yeah, this one has a little indentation there. This piece has the indentation there, so this is for this side. Put it in there, looking pretty cool. And then the other side, as easy as that, goes on this side. But this is not going in for whatever reason. There we go, now it's locked in. And yeah, so this is sort of a staticky, not fully action hammer, but you have some of the lightning coming out of it, which looks pretty cool with that translucent blue. And then we do have a separate lining effect, which honestly I don't know where does the top come off? I think the top comes off. Does it? Let's see here. Looks like it's lifted. There we go. So the top comes off. Kind of a tough piece to get out, but you also just find the shape, align it, and then you have this gorgeous lining effect of super long. Kind of don't like how it becomes more like solid down here towards the bottom, but the translucent up here looks very cool. And these fell off, but I think once you put everything together, let's see if we can do it. Geez, oh, well, that's the wrong side for that. That's why that's not going in. There goes that, and then this one again, and so everything together looks about like that, and looks pretty cool. Makes for a great effect. So very iconic scene from Avengers Endgame is when Captain finally lifts Thor's hammer and uses it against Thanos. Very iconic, and be very mindful and careful about this little piece because it is super light and it just flies all over the place. So yeah, I would just leave this on there as is. Moving on, we do have 2 other head sculpts, and I don't think if fakes can do this good of detailing. The eyes look great. I will say the hair is very gold, not necessarily blonde, so I think that's why it's in Japanese. This might be like an exclusive version of some kind. I'm not too sure. I'll have to do research. But yeah, it's very gold with some black in there, but the likeness is very good, and the face is painted very well for the most part. And like I said, the helmeted one also looks amazing. You have the little thingies on the side. Looks very cool in my opinion. And then he does come with an angry head sculpt here. Again, I think my brother had already posted this, so he just put the angry one on. And you can see some of his gold hair on the back there, which I don't know if you can see that. No, because this is an alternate neck piece. It articulates above that. So we'll take a look at articulation in a minute. And this is where I may take some time exploring. I believe this is for his back. I believe I am correct. You have a little tiny... You don't want to lose that, jeez. But you have tiny little thing that sticks out, or that you can remove from the back, that kind of completes this. And you can put this in there for your shield, and you can, I guess, put the straps on this, or I think this is for your shield throwing. So you put this here, and then one of the hands that is for throwing, you can assemble it that way. So there's that option. Looks pretty smooth. I do like that. I'm gonna take some pictures using that. Okay, so that's for throwing. This is for, I assume, looping his arm through, because that is the widest one. And then we do have this other one. These two just sort of basic ones. I don't know if this is what you use to put them. You know what? I think you'll use one of these, and then you just I have no idea. Maybe you just put this on here as such, because there's another extra hole. I don't know what that extra hole is for, but I assume you just plug these in, and there you have it. It doesn't really hold all that well because it comes off pretty fast. So yeah, I don't know what this extra hole is. It might be for the stand, for posing and stuff, but I don't know. There was no stand when I opened this. So I don't know what that other piece is for, but these are also just, I don't know what you necessarily use them for. One of them is longer and it doesn't like really fit in the hole, other than the short one, and this other one, well, it does go in. Okay, I put them on backwards. I can totally see that, but yeah, I don't know how this would function with the back storage piece, but it doesn't matter, because I think I'll just put this back in, because I do not want to lose this little piece. Besides, I think everyone wants their Captain America holding their shield. Yeah, that's tough to kind of put in there. But yeah, that's most of the accessories, at least from what came in the box. And like I mentioned, he does have this one which he's holding, which I guess we can show off now by putting, I want to say this one here as such, and then we probably have to remove the hand, and yeah, all this is gonna happen. Everything's gonna fall apart and whatnot, but pull the hand through, and then hopefully I'm probably complicating this way too much. I definitely am. I am so stupid. You don't have to remove a hand, but man, these hands are tough to put back in. There we go. Okay, take 2. Well, now it's looped in there. I guess it does work. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't I don't buy SH Figure Arts, and that's mostly because they don't scale with a lot of the other stuff like Marvel Legends or other stuff that one may collect, because they are 6-inch, but Hasbro stuff tends to scale a little bit larger. So there we have it. It is tricky to just get it to kind of plug into place. But yeah, I don't deal with SH Figure Arts way too often, so this is all kind of new to me, just trying to get everything to work. And there we have it. It took me a while, but looks good now. Now just gently move that, but yeah, shield looks great. I didn't take a look at the shield, but shield has all this dirt and grime all over it. It looks very neat, and the shininess of it is also very neat. You also get it for the broken one, which is pretty cool. In terms of the figure, it looks great too, paint wise, and just how color wise. I mean, it was pretty faded in the movie from what I remember, so it's pretty accurate, but it's a chainmail sculpting going for it, which we saw in the movie, which makes this suit the sort of definitive MCU version for me because of the scale chainmail thing that he's got going on. But there's tons of paint in there and different kinds of washes and whatnot. Subtle hints of red. You have the A logo on the shoulder over here, which is pretty cool, and on this side too. There's the back and the brown. You can see the brown for the belts and stuff, silver for the buckle, silver for the star. Looks pretty cool. And yeah, articulation wise, this guy can move. He can definitely move around. You can look up about that much and then about that much down. Pretty good. And then you do have great pivoting, and then he can look side to side. Pretty standard. Arms can go out about that much and then down about that much, and then this little piece sort of flaps in and out as you move the arm, which is pretty cool. Arms go around very well. Let's see, in there you do have more rotation at this sort of ball joint. It's like a swivel in there, not too functional, but it does work. Double jointed arms, pretty cool. And then all your hands are going to be vertical, and depending on which way it's going, it can also be horizontal. Hinges, crunch backwards very far, crunch forward pretty good, and then he can kick forward about that much, which is pretty good, and out he can do the splits. And then you do have upper thigh cut there, which is hidden pretty well. Double jointed knees, pretty good. And then no boot swivel, and then the at the ankles you don't really have any sort of hinges. It's a ball joint, so you get very limited range going forward and back at the feet, and then you have toe articulation. Yeah, it's a shame that the feet don't move all that much, but despite that, you can still get him to pose pretty well. Let's see, since he has his gripping hand, we'll add, I just forget where he grabs it from. Does he grab it more from further up? And that's another thing with SH Figuarts is they always feel flimsy to me for some reason. Like they're not like super sturdy joints, but once you find the right spot, he can hold a pose, as you can see here, and that already looks cool. I did literally very minimal posing here for him to look like that. Yeah, it looks fantastic. I don't know, this is kind of an out there review. Oh, you can remove the handle too. That's good to know. There you go. But yeah, I just wanted to do this review on this guy just because I thought it'd be interesting. And you know, Captain America is one of my favorite heroes, especially in the MCU. There's the neutral head on there. Pop off the entire neck. You can swap it out for regular Steve look, and that bot joint is hard to get in there. There we go. And there we have a unmasked version of Steve Rogers, looking pretty cool. I'm gonna stick with probably, you know, helmeted or masked version. It's just iconic. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of wanted to do a quick review, or you know, look at this figure in particular, because Captain is one of my favorite heroes, and you know, he's just kind of sitting there. So I was like, I'm gonna bring him out and maybe take some pictures of him and see what I can do with it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's kind of a long video, but hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a future video.